I thought Greece was over. They're not getting a bailout. They're getting a bailout. Here's a second bailout. Here's a third bailout. Here's some more bailout. And by the way, we need you to sell off everything to our club members via privatization in order to get just the next payment of the bailout we already agreed to give you. Because we're going to halt the payment unless you start selling stuff. And I've reported on that as it was happening. Things have quieted down a little bit over there. However, nothing has changed. I could have swore, I just read that the Greek parliament has just voted in favor for even more austerity measures. I, I'm pretty sure you cannot squeeze blood from a turnip. And yet they keep doing it. So now there's a little problem between the IMF, International Monetary Fund, and Germany. In leaked letter, according to Zero Hedge, IMF tells Germany debt relief for Greece or IMF drops out. Yeah, that's interesting. The IMF has threatened it will pull out of the Greek bailout program unless Greece gets debt relief. German Chancellor Angela Merkel, Austria, Finland, and the other Eurozone creditors will not like today's development one bit. The IMF has told Eurozone finance ministers they must immediately begin negotiations to grant debt relief for Greece despite German opposition, upending carefully orchestrated negotiations ahead of an emergency meeting on Monday. I'm just going to remind you, in case you forgot, what Lindsey Williams was told a few years ago, that the EU zone would go first. The euro would go first. And by that time, after that happens, you would have a mere few weeks at best in America to prepare for financial chaos. But that would be the telltale sign to look out for. When you see it happening, when you see the euro go, that's when it's time. So what's going to happen is if you start having any of these countries saying, all right, that's it, I've had enough, I'm dropping out of the euro. Like, isn't Britain trying to do so right now, or UK, whatever? They're trying to get out of it now. They had to send in the Cobra. Barack, we need you. Go over there and tell them not to disband. I got this, guy. So he goes over there. Send in the old, as Joe Salente says, the white shoe boys. Except he's not exactly white, but he definitely has a white shoe, like the club. So why not send him over? So we have that problem happening. Now the other nations are saying, look, we're tired of bailing out Greece. This is a money pit. In a letter to all 19 ministers sent on Thursday night and obtained by the Financial Times, Christine Lagarde, the IMF chief, said stalemated talks with Athens to find $3 billion in contingency budget cuts, which have gone on for a month, had become fruitless, and that debt relief must be put on the table immediately or risk losing IMF participation in the program. Athens is facing a $3.5 billion debt payments in July that it needs bailed out to be able to pay, basically. And EU officials have told Greek government officials they do not want messy negotiations to continue during the Brexit campaign, meaning if no agreement is reached this month, leaders will not begin discussions again until just weeks before a possible default. Similar last-minute talks a year ago rattled the Greek economy and raised questions about whether Greece could be ejected from the Eurozone. Relations between the IMF and Athens, already strained after last year's brinkmanship, have reached a new low in recent weeks following WikiLeaks' publication of a transcript of a private teleconference between Mr. Thompson and other IMF officials. A transcript Greek officials claimed showed the IMF was negotiating in bad faith. I don't know how else to say this. Duh. Wasn't it the IMF that told you people in Greece, your government, it's time to privatize off these things, sell that little asset off, sell that public works off, sell that electric company off to our club members? And who are these Greek people going to be paying now? The club. Oh, what's that? Your electric bill went up? Yes. It's me, Joseph. I need the cheaper bill. I can't pay the bill. Well, your electric company is now owned by the club, and the club has shareholders, and shareholders don't like hearing the word recession, discounts. They like hearing profit. And if you're wondering why your bill went up 25%, see my original answer, which is, in short, we've got shareholders. Take it up with management. That, my friends, is what happens when your country starts privatizing public assets. It was the IMF's idea. I'm going to show you how I know this because I only eat, breathe, and sleep this stuff. IMF. I'm just going to search Google for it. IMF urges Greece to privatize. See what comes up. Up 2011, 2016, April. Let's go to July 13th, 2011. IMF urges Greek debt burden sharing for private bondholders. IMF Christine Lagarde, of course, she's saying it. Debt sustainability, privatize. IMF urges Greece to move quickly on debt. Of course they do. Fiscal and privatization agenda in a timely manner. Let's click in on that one. Quote, it is essential that the authorities implement their fiscal and privatization agenda in a timely and determined manner, the IMF said in a staff report. The debt dynamics show little scope of deviation. That is when this all started. July 13th, 2011. Oh man, how time flies. Isn't that amazing? So they're telling all the EU nations, and especially Germany, they need more debt relief. If you guys don't come together, like immediately, we're going to pull out. You can pull out all you want now because you've already sold off everything from Greece. You don't care anymore. It means nothing. I personally believe they don't want any of these countries leaving the euro because it's not just a confidence thing in other countries that say, well, hold on, they're breaking apart. Well, if they're leaving, then we need to leave too. Yes, that's going to happen, but I think there's something more underlying that is just far more important as to why they don't want to break up the EU zone. I think the consequences of a country leaving, considering that every country has bonds and debt and all these securities and financial instruments that are ultimately, one way or the other, tied to a derivatives product, which are massively leveraged, as you know. And those are those ticking time bombs that will bring down the world economy. So I think that if any country leaves the EU, it's going to have some kind of a side effect that's going to trigger a derivatives meltdown automatically. And it might just simply be because all the traders and whatever out there, oh my gosh, they're leaving the country. We know what that means. And they're going to pick all their favorite stocks, of course, the euro. They're going to short it, whatever they do. And keeping in mind, for every short, there's a long. For every long, there's a short. For every good bet, there's a bad bet. There's a winner and there's a loser. And when they're tied to derivatives, the losses can be unbelievable. Like super duper massive bailout, too big to fail, unbelievable. So that's my personal thought on why they've been holding Greece down for so long. You would think, didn't they have these snap elections and they kicked the other party out, and Syriza or whatever came in, Syriza party, and he reneged on what he was saying and he left, and like it's almost like you're brought into a secret room and they're like showing you the future, like, listen, this is what's going to happen if we don't continue doing this. Yeah, but that's terrible. I'm here for the people. They're suffering. Yeah, but look what the alternative is. Holy, what is that, hell? Did you guys actually find hell? Yeah, kind of. If you don't continue doing this, that's where you're going to go. The whole country. Wow. I mean, how are they able to just keep these politicians even in line and say you're not leaving? This has been going on since 2011. It's now almost halfway through 2016. And we're hearing that they need more bailouts? They're not done yet? And Greece has agreed to more austerity promises. More austerity? What's left? I mean, is there anything you can take or have the people, cut back hours and fire a bunch of people? I mean, you've already done all that. Privatization? You've already done that. What is left? So it's just, it says, I'll just finish the last part of this. It's a loaded gun. I am uncertain if the emphasis in bold is by Lagarde or the Financial Times, but I suspect the latter. This purposely leaked letter puts enormous pressure on German Chancellor Angela Merkel, who is already under severe strain due to her complete bungling of the refugee crisis. Pick your poison. 1, the German parliament only agreed to do this deal if the IMF was in it. Number 2, the German parliament only agreed to do this on the specific terms previously offered. The terms included no more debt relief, Greece public surplus, budget surplus not counting interest on debt, of 3% of GDP by 2018. I said that would never happen, and it won't. Lagarde's letter stated, third, going forward, we do not expect Greece to be able to sustain a primary surplus of 3.5% of GDP for decades to come, much less 3% by 2018. By the way, Lagarde knew all along Greece could not meet a primary surplus of 3.5% of GDP for decades to come. So why did it sign the deal in the first place? Lagarde now proposes a primary surplus of 1.5%. Well, guess what? That is nearly as unlikely as a surplus of 3.5%. And at a rate of 1.5%, it will take decades longer for Greece to pay back the hundreds of billions of euros it owes in these programs. So that means outright debt reductions. And to answer their question, says that she knew about this in advance. So why did it sign the deal in the first place? Why did Christine Lagarde and the IMF sign this deal if they knew in advance 3% or 3.5% is not doable? What I was just saying, as all part of this process, they know this can't be done. They know the debt can't be paid off. So we're going to plunder and pick clean everything we can. Again, privatization, selling off public assets to private hands, usually electric companies, oil and gas companies, power, etc., stuff like that, public transportation, toll roads. That way you can't complain to your local representative about why are the tolls so high? Why does my gas bill go up? Why is my electric bill going up? Well, that's a privately owned company and they have the right to raise it, Yeah, but when the people own, what happened? I wonder how many Greek people don't even know. I'm just curious. Wonder how many of them don't even know that they're publicly owned at one point companies were sold off to the club. I wonder how many of them have a clue. I would say if it's anything like the rest of the Western world or America, not freaking very many at all. But they're going to find out. When the electric bill goes up, and they start making calls, start doing a little research on their own because they're fed up all of a sudden, watching their favorite TV shows, going to the ball games, having a good old time. Can't do that anymore. Lost my job or whatever, And here I'm talking like this is going to be coming. This has been happening for the last 5 years in Greece. So I think maybe fast forward to now, and a whole bunch of the people may have already figured it out. And I just love how they all stand outside of Parliament and chanting. And do you know how quick those politicians would change their minds and vote the way they're supposed to for the people? If the people knocked the damn doors down and bomb rushed them. Just the sheer sounds that would be coming from the building of people breaking in the doors and going as fast as I can up the stairs. You want to see some change? You want to see some change the Greeks can believe in? But as long as they stand outside, chanting and looking around, and nothing's going to happen. See this magic 8-ball? I'm just going to hold this in my hand and hope. Same thing as standing around with the sign. I'm going to hope that it falls out of my hand. Matter of fact, let me close my eyes. Say a little prayer at the same time. Dear Heavenly Father, please make this 8-ball fall out of my hands. Oh, jeez. Oh, sorry. My right arm was tweaking. I didn't mean to get you excited. Because in neither case is it going to fall. Heavenly Father is not making this fall out of my hand. Praying is not making it fall out of my hand. Hoping is not making it fall out of my hand. There's only one damn thing that's going to make this fall out of my freaking hand. It's called my physical ability to do so. It takes physical action for me to put this damn thing down. Maybe if I hold a sign up for this ant gel raid killer. Please stop selling off the private assets or public assets of the people. Please vote no for more austerity. Please vote no to take my pension. And finally, please vote no to more job losses. Oh, but we have to austerity measures. We agreed to the bailout. Oh, yeah. And please don't agree to any more bailouts. Thanks. Nothing's going to change until the people physically make it change. And to see Greece going on like this for 5 freaking years tells me how much the people are actually willing to put up with and still not do anything about it. And that is not something I want to be a part of or deal with. When change needs to come, we need to make change happen. And nothing's happening. So, on second thoughts, to save myself from having to deal with these sheeple who don't want to do anything about it, I too will become a sheeple who does nothing about it except buy some of these and store them and keep storing them and keep storing them and buying them. So that when this crap comes to my country, I can sit back and continue doing videos about all the sheep. While I hopefully, get to enjoy life while they suffer. And I can say, well, I don't know who you are, but I wish you would have found my YouTube channel many, many years. I've been doing this for many years. I've been trying to wake people up for a long time. By the way, were you one of those people? You have Facebook. Oh, yeah, of course. Okay. Do you have any friends or family on there that maybe used to or maybe still do post stuff about, like this stuff that's going on and, not Facebook type stuff? Oh, yeah, my brother or my whoever, Did you ever tell him, stop posting that, be positive or anything? Yeah, I think I did. He would just get on there every single day and post that stuff, and I just got tired of it. So he did try to wake you up. Have you talked to him recently? Yeah, I did. How's he doing? Remarkably well. How are you doing? Remarkably not so well. That's because he became I don't want to say prepper, but he prepared in advance. You are reactionary. Like 90-something% of the people out there, humans that is, you're reactionary. Oh, something happened, let me react to it. Oh, this magic 8-ball dropped on my head, well, let me react to that. But some of us can see old hidden magic 8-ball in advance. And we see it up there. Let me put it back here so you can see. Magic 8-ball? I see a magic 8-ball. Hey, friends, family on Facebook, you see the magic 8-ball? It's coming down very fast. It's going to cause some severe damage. Nah, I don't see no 8-ball. Yep. Oh, you didn't even look though. It's just turn your head around. It's right. No, I don't have time for that. I'm busy watching the game, or I'd rather talk about what I'm going to eat for dinner tonight and then post it on Facebook. Or I got to go take a dump. Let me just write that real quick. Be right back. I'm going to go take a crap. Matter of fact, come back out. Let me type that. You guys may want to see this before I flush it. It was amazing. You want to see it? No? Oh, okay. Back to Facebook stuff. Sorry about that, guys. I think people's priorities are going to change in a massive, massive way as we enter the new world order system that they got ready for us. While it might be scary, I still can't wait to see how it really goes down and what happens. And I can just vision $200, $300 silver in American dollars. Oh my God, how much do I have? I could buy a house. I could buy 2 houses, maybe even 3. Oh, that's right, because the housing prices are going to be smashed at the same time. You have to have physical assets. As Lindsay said, anything on a piece of paper won't be worth the paper it's written on when this all goes down. And I thought about that. I said, well, yeah, these mining stocks, some have doubled, tripled, quadrupled. I remember talking about in December. I told you guys, hey, I'm not going to get into this, but some of you may want to. I did say that. But I don't want to play the game. I'm not playing the club's game. Because if you're doing really, really well, what happens if all of a sudden, for all the losers out there while you're doing well, something happens? Another MF Global, they took my money, I can't get it. I'm not even going to deal with that. Don't even want to set myself up to even possibly deal with that. You just keep buying these babies until it all goes down. And then when it goes down, you count how many you have and keep looking at the price day by day. Take care.